So the beginning of Vayishlach, we have Yaakov strategizing what to do in his confrontation with Esav. Clearly he's very concerned. V'yir Yaakov v'yetzalo. The question is, what's Yaakov so concerned about? What's his problem? HaKadosh Baruch Hu had promised him things were going to be okay, and we see it's an ongoing theme in terms of, I guess, Shema Yigor Mached is a constant theme in Yaakov's life, this sort of lack of confidence in his own spirituality. Maybe, things can go wrong. I received the promise, but maybe I sort of brought upon myself some level of weakness based on whatever sin I might have committed that overall, brought him concern. But here, he's facing Esav. He knows who Esav is. He knows who he is. And sure, we can never be overly confident, and certainly we're not going to criticize Yaakov for being concerned. Shema Yigor Machet, but at the same time, it's certainly in comparison to Esav, there's absolutely zero, no comparison. You got two polar opposites, two ends of the spectrum in terms of spiritual greatness. What Yaakov represented, and the exact opposite for Esav represented. So the Mefarshim are bothered. What's his Vayira Yaakov? What exactly was he afraid of in this confrontation when he knows that right wins, especially with the Haftarah of HaKadosh Baruch Hu? In this battle, there's a clear winner and there's a clear loser. So what exactly is the problem? So Das Kanim talks about it, and he gives two answers. Really, both answers are astounding in their level of message, just in the level of chiddush, in terms of what they open up our eyes, in terms of maybe, I guess in general, the power of a mitzvah. Because says the Das Kenim, Yori Haya sheyoyel le'esav schus shekibed av ve'eim v'lo kiem kfar over esrim shana. So Yaakov was concerned that the schus of kibud av ve'eim, which he was not able to fulfill for 20 years, while he was away in the house of Lavan, doing what he was told to do by Yitzchak and by Rivka. He was sent away based on their say so. So what are you worried about? So what does he mean? So what do you mean? Esav had this chus of kibud aveim. So stop and you think about it for a minute. What exactly is really going on here? Okay, I understand. So he had this chus of kibud aveim, but in the totality of people, what exactly is the Das Kedim saying? That kibud aveim is one mitzvah. Yeah. What about the whole personality? What about the whole essence of what this person stood for? So we have a similar concept by Moshe Rabbeinu as well. But what we see here, this is where again there's a lot of Chazal to sort of support this and reinforce this notion of sort of trying to slow things down in our own lives and grabbing every opportunity, is because he was afraid that because every one mitzvah, what the Das Kedim is showing us, is that every single action and every single particular mitzvah that you do has in its own world, in its own realm, unbelievable power. And we really don't know how Kadosh Baruch Hu operates, the world. Obviously, in the end of the day, and the person leaves the world. The Rambam tells us that our schios and our avonos are measured, and then, that's the sort of judgment of a person, a tzaddik or rasha. And even there, obviously, it's very complicated because it's not quantitative; it's qualitative in terms of what a person does. But you see, in the ongoing days that we go through life, through each and every challenge, each and every situation, there are things that we do, and there are things that we can grab onto that we have absolutely no idea of how powerful they are and how much chusim they can bring. Because what Yaakov was really saying is, of course, ultimately I'm greater than Esav. I know that. He did kibbut aveim. Okay, so, I mean, again, we like to look at it, also from sort of the bottom line. We can't look at it the bottom line. We can't. That's why when a person doesn't see themselves on a very high madrega, I do this, I do that. What am I worth? What good am I? The Torah gets in there to try to put us down. What do you mean? You can do on a Friday afternoon or a Friday morning, whatever it might be. It could be any single day of the year. You can do a mitzvah. Not mitzvah can have such power and such strength. And yes, kibbut aveim is an exceptional mitzvah, although there's a lot of discussion. Was there real sincerity in the kibbut aveim? Did Esav, do it with the right sincerity? So we do see from a few parshas earlier that even though Yaakov, certainly Yitzchak would have loved a nicer language, a nicer talk, he would have loved to hear the word Elokim a little bit more. Esav didn't use those words. He was who he was, but yet this kibbut aveim, it's a mitzvah. And even though that mitzvah you'd imagine would be so dwarfed by Esav's total personality of negativity, of Averis, of Gil Rayu, Shicha, Zoma, Avodah, the worst type of Averis that Esav ran around doing throughout his life. And now he's up against Yaakov, who's been this incredible tzaddik, who's been able to survive a love on Harami and still keep his head up, high and proud. So what's shaykh? The teretz is, again, because we just don't understand. We just really don't appreciate the power of a mitzvah. We had it also with Moshe Rabbeinu. He's afraid of Og. What is he afraid of Og for? Well, Og has a schus. He helped out Avram Avinu. So he did one act in his life of helping out Avram Avinu, but he's Og. Og Melech HaBashar is a Rasha. What's Moshe being concerned? HaKadosh Baruch Hu needs to tell Moshe Rabbeinu, don't worry. What's Moshe worried about? He wasn't worried about Sichon. He wasn't worried about all the other enemies that he stared down and he was victorious about. Well, Avram Avinu, help out Avram Avinu. The same idea, you do kibbut aveim to Yitzchak, even if you maybe weren't the most sincere, you're doing a mitzvah. So how do I know how that mitzvah is going to stand in your stead in a very powerful way? It certainly reinforces this notion of sort of grabbing every opportunity, of not trying to judge, and that's what the Pirkei Avos tells us. What are you judging? You don't know what a big mitzvah is. You don't know what a small mitzvah is. A mitzvah is a mitzvah. It can have such power. It can have such strength. It can have such a schus for a person. In the time of distress, you don't even know when you can sort of call upon that schus to be able to help us out. We don't know. HaKadosh Baruch Hu runs the Welt, but we have to grab those opportunities. And the second teretz is also amazing. Inami, so the Das HaKenim brings a second answer. Inami sheyoyelo ischus Eretz Yisrael v'hu b'chutz aretz. Also, well, Yaakov was concerned because he was in chutz aretz all these years. Notice they don't count. He seems to count only 20 years. The 14 years, Shem ve'aver doesn't count because he was learning Torah. So that's didn't go into the cheshbon, not in the kibbut aveim cheshbon, not in the Eretz Yisrael cheshbon scenes from the Das HaKenim. They only talk about 20 years. They don't talk about the other 14. So, but again, same thing. You're in Eretz Yisrael. Okay, but you're running around doing Averis. So what are you doing in Eretz Yisrael? But you're in Eretz Yisrael. You walk in the streets of Eretz Yisrael. My Rebbe in Eretz Yisrael by Shades Zatzal. What a special person he would say. Every step you take in Eretz Yisrael is a separate mitzvah. We don't know. So you're in Eretz Yisrael, you're not in Eretz Yisrael. So again, some people, Baruch Hashem, appreciate it, but a lot of people, it's another trip. It's not just another trip. It's every second we breathe in the air, we walk the streets, we're part of that process of living and being in Eretz Yisrael. That's a schus. Schus Eretz Yisrael. And you're an ace of a Russia, but the schus Eretz Yisrael. So again, it reinforces, this is, I guess, in particular to the Kayach of Eretz Yisrael, another thing that we should always, appreciate and long. It's the Maisa we can't be in Eretz Yisrael, but it should empower us, it should motivate our tefillos to recognize that in the Maisa being in Eretz Yisrael today, which is a schus, there's no question, this is before Eretz Yisrael was in a sense sanctified by Eretz Yisrael conquering it, and the Beis Hamikdash, all the schusim of what's going to come later. It didn't happen yet. It was just, at that point, it was Eretz Yisrael. But it was a holy land. It was a land designated for Klal Yisrael. So that schus is something that's very powerful, and certainly if it's able to motivate our tefillos, make us long for that time, and to strengthen our focus that we want to be in Eretz Yisrael. We not only want to be in Eretz Yisrael consistently because of Eretz Yisrael, but certainly all the other things that Be'ez Hashem will happen when Mashiach finally comes. It'll be in Eretz Yisrael of the highest order, of such kedusha, from the Beis Hamikdash, from the Kiddush Hashem, all the other elements that go into it. So Be'ez Hashem, from the point of view of this chus of Eretz Yisrael and what we're missing, and from the point of view of the power of a mitzvah, both of these elements of the Das Kenim should give us tremendous chizuk to really value every tefillah, and to certainly take advantage of every day and every opportunity when a mitzvah comes by.